it gives CC immunity and it's an iframe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if a Vora uses the third talent and you both use obliteration, if hers hits first, the silence will actually hit through your CC immunity and silence you and cancel your ability.
That's happened to me.
What?
So that's why that's happened to. Okay, I've wondered why Voras do that, and I'm
Does
like,
that work on other CC immune, like
Yeah.
Inara's, Mother Grace, and stuff like
I
that?
don't think so.
Or
I
have you
think
tested
it's
it that
it's
far?
a Vora specific thing.
yeah,
Okay, a
Vora,
Vora
versus
thing.
Vora, yeah.
Yeah,
Most
in a
likely a
Vora v
Vora thing,
Vora
'cause, like,
situation, that's one of those weird ones where it's like, that's not supposed to happen.
Right,
Yeah, 'cause I'm like,
because CC immune, the second person should be the one that actually lands it.
But didn't they also nerf whatchamacallit? Like that's what I'm looking for. Like the I can't think of the word. Like the frame rate of it. I can't think of the word I'm supposed to use.
Hey, what's up, Leo? Thanks for coming through. How you doing, guys? This is I shared a stream in chat, or in Discord the other day because he was playing ranked. He's newer to the game, but has been playing a lot of it, and it's got really good. So I had told him, I said, yeah, come through to one of our Paladins podcast episodes because we talk about various different topics that are to do with the game. As we're discussing Vora right now because we did a poll in chat to see who we're putting in the champion hot seat. That's a mini series we started doing that has become very popular amongst our group. You know, a lot of people tend to like it. They tend to like to come to lurk. I've gotten DMs about it. People actually getting a chance to catch it, even if it's towards the tail end. Like, they're like, oh, I didn't know that, So just fun facts, that maybe you just didn't know or knew but didn't know how to execute or whatever. And even if you're here for the fun, like, we just talk about all kinds of things that are Paladins and champ specific. So welcome on in, and good luck on your games if you're gaming today or doing some ranked. Let's see. So besides getting into that, another thing, we have posted a couple of these episodes on my YouTube. So if you want to get caught up on the previous ones that we've done, like breaking down the roles, some of the things you've talked about in your stream, I won't self-plug in another person's stream, but now that you're here, if you want to check that out, we did discuss on previous episodes role breakdowns, champ breakdowns, healing, damage, tanks, flanks, all that. So you can go check those out. But continue with what you guys were saying. I'm sorry, Atachi. I knew you were bringing something up, and I apologize. I noticed him and started talking.
It was something about a nerf Vora got.
Oh.
I didn't quite hear.
Yeah.
I was thinking about one of her cards, and I think my brain just shut off for a minute.
I know her damage resistance card got buffed.
Yeah, that's what I think that'll.
Yeah, she's had card buffs, but the only nerf I can think of would be a bug fix that they had recently in her kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I can't think of it. I really can't think of it.
Oh, right. She had a talent that got buffed recently. It was her Unified in Purpose, which gave her DR upon hitting.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
that,
so it gave.
That was broken for a minute.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a 3-second base timer, but instead they had somehow managed to make it apply for time added onto that based on the points you put in the card by like a full second-ish. So it was actually applying for like 7-8 seconds, not 3.
Yeah.
And it was the full 30%.
That was very
I
stinky.
had that card in my build, and I was like, I'm very tanky right now.
Yeah.
So that's like the only card nerf she's had recently. She's been on the buff train pretty well. Her only nerf semi-recently was a while back. She got a nerf to her projectile speed, and then the rework to how her DOT affected people was also reworked, and it made her slightly less powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it made her more bursty instead of
yeah.
Yeah, it actually chopped off like 50-ish damage from her M1 4-star.
It was a little burstier, but it was a little bit less damage.
To me, I didn't mind that nerf. I kind of like. To me, because I
still hate it.
Understandable. I just like to be a little bit burstier with That's just me personally.
The thing is there's certain champions with certain cards, like HP cards, that the M1 combo is capable of killing without like requiring an additional hit from an ability. and I Drogo's. I had an example on stream once, but Drogo's is one of those champions that you're able to almost kill entirely with it, and every single time for like 5-6 times on that Drogo's, I would use that M1 combo, and he would get down to 50 HP and survive because I would need to hit like an ability shot on him. And that never happened before. It would have never happened before.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so there's some champions that like around that HP gate that will live now.
Yeah.
Of it, which is very frustrating.
Yeah. If you play her enough, you know the difference.
Yep.
All right, let's get into the pros and cons of Vora since we're talking about that. What are the main pros?
Very mobile.
Yeah, good mobility.
Varying playstyles.
True.
She's definitely not a one-trick pony.
You can say that again.
Yeah.
Very tanky as well.
Yeah, especially for a flank, she definitely has a lot
A
of...
decent self-sustain too.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, decent self-sustain. Oh, she's the only, if I'm not mistaken, she's the only support that actually has a built-in passive for sustain in her kit. I mean, not support, flank. Yeah, she's the only one with built-in sustain. Everyone else doesn't have it.
No, yeah.
Unless you count like
Talents,
abilities,
right?
I mean, yeah,
Oh,
with abilities,
you said
sure,
unless you're
but
counting abilities,
Vora,
okay, so you do.
Yeah.
Passive, like, yeah,
The
her passive is
okay.
healing.
Kind of have full passes
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Cons?
Cons? Oh, projectile.
No, what is he? I don't think no, what is he?
Yeah, you don't have to hit
I don't play
projectile.
Vora enough to know about her cons like
It's
that.
projectile and it's not area projectile like most other projectiles.
Yeah, it's
like
no piercing whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm
So
gonna say that.
she gets hung up on like people or two people, and you have to really know how to
Single
Yeah.
like, get around.
Also,
them.
very, very vulnerable to CC.
Not really.
If you're obliterated on
It
cooldown,
depends.
yeah.
It really depends. If you're caught off guard, she's as weak as any other champion, but like she has she has 3 things in her kit that allow her to either A, cleanse, or B, escape it. So I would say she's one of the most resistant to CC in the flank category for sure.
Yeah.
It just depends on how you play it.
Vine out,
Yeah.
obliterate to cancel it. or
Vine
use your
out,
ult if you need
use
to.
your ult, obliterate, yeah, all that good stuff.
She can be buggy though. The Vine.
The Vine is a little
yes
buggy.
and no. The Vine, there is a bug with Vine, which is if you flick your mouse too hard, it'll cause the Vine to detach from a wall. But
Funny if I'm doing
that
that.
is essentially if you're flinging your mouse and then it connects to a point, but you keep moving it. So it's like attempting Grover Tech on Vora breaks.
I
I know, I was
that.
like, it,
That's my issue. I tried to.
Yeah.
I
you're
tried
used
to.
to using Vine
Yeah.
Tech
I
to
tried to.
push you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did do that because I.
Yeah, that happens when you attempt Vine Tech on Vora, and I call it fake tendril. which
Fake
users are fun.
tendril.
It's pretty fun.
That's
No, because
very
they still
explanatory of that.
They still hear the audio cue, so it's a great way to fake people out, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
There's plenty of
Oh,
times I've
oh,
used
like you
it
can
and
take
someone's
I'm
advantage.
using
trying to
one
cheat in the
experiment
corner.
right now. I'm
Oh,
gonna try to
yeah.
do it. See if I can get.
And you can
in my-
spam it like 5-6 times if you can get it right every time.
Yeah.
It's difficult because of the timing. It's also tied to like your frame rate and all that. So,
Yeah.
like, if you hit it just right, you can pop it like 5-6 times, and then people are freaking out, confused why you have that many tendrils.
Right,
You
right,
just, throw 'em
right.
behind a wall.
I gotta do this because I run like a speed board kind of, but I gotta
I've
see this
seen
happening
people
one
do it,
time.
but I didn't realize that that's what they were doing.
Yeah, if you can get it down, it's pretty funny, and it's definitely an effective tool you can use. 100%. It's one of the funniest and best things that she can actually do
That's
to
funny.
like fake people out.
Yeah. What's another con for her?
Another con, she's very heavily affected by cauterize. Like very, very heavily affected. She's
Because
probably
it affects her
like the most.
self-staining.
Yeah, that's one of her only things.
Makes sense.
She's very aggressively affected by it.
Yeah.
The bulk of her damage comes from the final shot of her M1. It's not actually the other 3. The other 3 it's a medium, low, low, heavy. But the heavy is gonna be like the main chunk of your damage.
Yeah, it's like
So
a
if you miss
600.
that, you're screwed.
what is it? You have to hit your combo.
Yeah.
Or I guess your basic attack combo.
You can miss the first one and you can miss one of the second ones, but you cannot miss the third
No,
one.
it's true. Every time you miss that third one, you're done. And if you don't have a tendril, you're gone.
First.
Yeah.
You cannot miss your heavy.
Yeah.
You're just done if you miss the heavy.
Yeah.
So she's very reliant on hitting her fourth projectile 100%. Another thing is she has pretty hefty cooldowns for her abilities that is not Siphon.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as bad as everyone else, but like compared to other high mobility champions. Yeah, compared to other high mobility champions, her obliteration and her tendril are fairly high cooldown at 10 to 11 seconds.
Well, and even if you have a high cooldown build like I have, which I had that up to show y'all. That's the only build I run, but it's even with it, it's not.
Yeah.
The cooldown still is still a lot.
Agreed, and it's manageable because you can look at someone like Maeve with a 10-second on Pouch and a 12-second on Prowl.
Yeah.
The difference is Pouch can go down to 6-second cooldown.
Yeah.
Prowl can go down to like an 8-second, and then you're gonna take into account 9 lives, which is a 20-second cooldown, but can get dropped down to a 15.
Yeah. With cards. She's got so many good reset cards.
And May has that one card where she can, I think that her Prowl, she can use like hit her daggers and she basically gets that back.
Yeah. The crazy cooldown. It's like 0.5 seconds per hit with dagger. So a full second every dagger set.
That's the bit I run for
crazy. I love that card.
Wow.
So it's hard to compare her in terms of hypermobility cooldowns.
Yeah.
So she's very in and out in terms of how she plays. I would say another big con is going to be her low HP pool, which obviously, most flanks have it.
Yeah.
But it's still something that needs to be brought up. Because, like,
she's a little bit
2000
squishy.
HP, yeah, she's a little squishy.
Yeah, a little squishy, yeah.
But, like,
fair, she does have her
not like
Need healing.
Squishy in terms of HP, but once you start adding in cards, she becomes an absolute monster.
Sure. That's why I think it's okay that she has that small HP, because she has the damage resistance and the
I think 2000 HP is a beautiful middle ground for her.
What is the biggest trouble for a new person picking up Vora?
The learning her abilities.
The abilities, yeah, when to use them, when not to use them. Maybe not so much the rotation. More so of like when you need to use them, because I've noticed in a lot of newer players they're very reluctant to use abilities.
Yeah.
Take for example a game like Overwatch. Overwatch kind of forces you to hold your abilities, if that makes sense, for like certain scenarios. And so a lot of people, because like we're mainly getting Overwatch refugees.
Yeah.
The person that comes from Overwatch to this game isn't gonna know that this game is based around spamming your abilities off cooldown.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at a higher elo person on Leon, there's never a moment like something's not on cooldown.
Right.
Something on cooldown, especially they are using it at 100% efficiency. And someone like Vora isn't someone you can get away with like storing your cooldowns that much. Like you need to be spamming your tendril to get picks in the backline. Yeah, you need to be spamming your siphon. Like you need to be constantly using your abilities. Even if you're throwing a siphon into a shield, like it still does the percent-based damage to the shield. It's a lot.
And then it helps the pass. You get like your passive charges too.
Yeah, and M1 and shields will give you passive charges for healing and all that.
Of your healing, yeah.
So it's important that you need to not just spam your abilities, but understand that Vora is one of the champions where it's okay to constantly use them over and over and over. And not just like sit there and hoard them and okay, well I have to hit this one shot with Siphon and then waiting 20 seconds
like I haven't
to
used my
line it
Siphon
up.
in 20 seconds.
Nah,
like, bro,
throw
you
it.
can use it 4 times already.
Just throw it. Even if you miss, just throw it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you could catch somebody.
Yeah,
the card, I've seen that card and it's viable, yeah.
It is if you are a new Vora player, that is the one card I recommend at +5. Screw every pro build, screw my builds. Put Crimson Ascent at +5 because you're going to miss that thing 9 out of 10 times until you get that.
True.
put it in the build. It
Oh, is
drops
that
it from
the
a
siphon
6
reset?
Yeah,
And you miss
it
it.
drops from a 6-second cooldown to a 1-second cooldown until you hit it. It is such a good crutch for new players, and I highly recommend it if you were just learning the character. Without a doubt.
Finish the sentence. She is a strong flank, but
Like, what? Bullied by a lot of flanks. Absolutely bullied. Mainly
Flanks
Zen.
bully her,
Zen and
okay.
Eevee are the two
Yeah.
that completely bully Vora pretty heavily.
Does
Yeah.
Helga cleanse her dot damage and stuff?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Sorta.
kinda.
He
The
doesn't
dash.
say
down
cleanse
easily
it.
though.
He doesn't cleanse it, but the dash lasts just enough time where the DOT ends while he's in the
Yeah.
phase. So kinda yes and no.
He doesn't
It
take the
doesn't
full
work on
damage
Siphon.
of it.
He doesn't take the full damage. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Okay,
affect Siphon
gotcha.
that as much because the Siphon damage lasts a while through the dash.
Yeah, that's more so what I was trying to reference. Is like if he gets hit with that siphon and he's not silenced, also then. maybe
Yeah, he's just gonna
to cleanse
dash
it.
and then he's gonna take like 1/3 the damage
Eevee
he
ice
should have.
blocks, Zen
Eevee ice
billows.
blocks suck, but you can get stacks off an ice block to go for like a cheeky obliteration or like
Can
a.
you get your stacks
can,
off
but-
of an ice block DV?
You get stacks off of anything.
What? I knew you got it
If
off shields. I
She's
didn't
the
know you got
only-
it off.
If it
She is
gets,
the
like,
only
if it
one
gets
who wasn't
hit, you
affected
get
by that
stacks.
nerf.
You get it from dogs, shields, deployables. You know,
What was the
literally
only one
anything.
wasn't affected by
It's
that,
like
like that
free
kind of
nerf
awesome
gas,
nerf?
man.
She was the only one wasn't affected by that nerf where all like
Yeah.
shields stuff don't affect. She was the only one that wasn't affected.
Right.
Yeah, that was the.
Yeah,
that
I
was
knew
the
shields
Caspian
didn't go
patch.
through. Okay.
Which I
I'm
think was
learning.
good for Vora because I feel like she did.
She
People
kinda
needs
work
it.
for her.
It would be a very different game if she didn't get stacks from
Caspian did
shields
not
and
need
it,
deployables
though,
and stuff.
'Cause that he
Caspian
was
didn't
broke.
need
sure.
it because his cards procced it. That was different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vora only
Yeah.
procced or augmented abilities.
Also
Caspian
rogue
started
tempo, too.
gaining 10,000 credits a game.
Rogue tempo.
ammo and did insane damage. It was not.
that was so stinky,
Drug
bro.
rogue tempo. Oh my god.
Do you think
Yeah.
that Vora is map dependent or is she good on every map?
No.
mad
She's good on
dependent.
every map, but there are some
Yeah, I think
maps
she's
that
pretty
are
solid.
not good for her. And it's not that
Uh-huh.
she's bad on those maps, it's that the map terrain is actually buggy for her. So Bazaar is one of them. Bazaar has some of the most bugged out, rough cut
By
geometry on the walls I have ever seen. It's bad.
And-
I mean, like, it is.
and
Try
Frozen
playing
Guard.
7
Bizarre is
on
by
Oh
far the
yeah,
God.
true.
buggiest map.
It'll
Yeah,
make you want to stop playing. It is bad.
yeah,
So, you know, it's not so much as like the map is bad. It's more
Yeah.
so that like the building of the map is bad.
yeah.
But Vora can be played on any map to her fullest potential. She's not map dependent in the slightest.
Talent
I would
Yeah,
play
like,
her
use.
that's
the
due to her
same on a
flexibility,
TDM
like-
map.
Talent
Oh, yeah, she
use.
needs
Earlier,
resolution.
you mentioned that all her talents are viable.
Yeah, kind of. It depends. If you want a Vora 1v1, you can run the third talent to be cheeky. If you know that you're going to be initiating 1v1s.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you want to stick to the 2.
My favorite is Unyielding Pressure, but that's just me personally.
Yeah, Unyielding Pressure is her best talent, without a doubt. In
Is that
in
the
higher
two
elo,
two tendril
no,
one?
That's,
The first
that's
one,
yeah, that's the first one
Yeah,
that gives bonus
it does
damage.
the-
on-
which
bonus damage
it's
on it.
even
Okay.
stinky even after the nerf, because prior to it, it was stinky.
They nerfed it? I never really nerfed it.
It wasn't as strong. It's not as strong as it used to be.
Unyielding Pressure. I don't think I was here for any nerfs to that, so I'm unsure. to be
Not
honest
even
with
like
you.
it was like a soft nerf. It wasn't like a
I was
major
gonna say,
nerf.
when she first came out, I
Yeah.
think it had like a shorter cooldown.
Yeah, the cooldown was
Maybe.
actually
Had, like,
insane
more
on it.
burst or something. I remember there was a small, there was something that was done like early on when she was released.
They
Yeah,
complained
I wouldn't
about
use
it, and
that,
then
at
and then they kept changing the way her ult would, work.
Oh yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
when she was
She
her
got the
ult was,
ray treatment with her ult.
yeah, when her ult
I know
she
that
was
much.
basically unkillable with her
Or
ult. To
maybe
be
it was the
fair,
old. I don't know. There was something that
Her ult
she was
should
way too
unkillable.
strong of on release.
On release, she had like complete 100% damage immunity. on her.
Yeah,
For the
you could
entire
not touch
duration.
her.
yeah,
That's
so like,
right. Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking of. I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's what I
I
remember
feel like there was
hearing about.
yeah, she did. Like when she popped ult, and then she remained like, I think like 50%. If you didn't use it, she still had 50% if you didn't use it.
And you just kind of had to run away and pray.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Basically.
Run away and pray.
Runaway love.
Yeah, no, surprisingly, they increased the most recent buff to her. She got a buff to her ult. They increased the FOV to where you can hit people easier with it, as well as they added a new indicator to show when you're hovering over them, and then they also increased your movement speed a little.
The indicators.
I think the movement speed is alright, honestly.
The indicator is useful. I feel it's a lot better.
Like
I remember I ulted one time trying to chase a term, and I just couldn't catch up to
him.
No, he's running too fast.
With these speedy term?
Speedy term.
Oh yeah, you're not catching that. You're not catching that.
He got stunned, so I was
actually
like,
chasing a term or Genos on Vora is funny as fuck.
While I was charging up the ult, he started getting away, and then I couldn't catch up to him. I was like, no.
I would say it's very funny to like pop an ult on someone and they just start backpedaling. You just can't catch them. Like, come on, wait, hold on.
Come back here.
I just want to talk.
I just want to talk.
That happens so often.
It's such, and then leaves you standing there like a dummy because then their team's like, oh, look at this Vora. Bro, they come. You just cancel it and run away. You don't.
You're just standing there like a bumbling moron.
Yeah.
You just stand there with the face of disappointment, just like, I know I didn't get away.
It's the
so
worst.
Easy to escape your ult if you know it, like.
It's embarrassing as fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
I mostly use Vora to get away. I stopped trying to go for people at that
Why
point.
am I envisioning a TDM match on that one? The one with the bridge. Trade. I think, dude,
the castle-y
I'm just picturing me doing that, being debated by a con down the bridge. I don't know what game that was, but I just got like PTSD from a game.
He dashes away.
He was just like, bye, and he got full health, and like, cause he was low, I was gonna kill him, and then he like, his shout, he already used his shout
right before. Oh goodness.
Well, he used the shout and he was still low, so I would have got it, but he got healed.
Vora got a shadow buff, actually, that was not mentioned in the patch notes recently, that me and a buddy figured out, and her ult now applies 100% cauterize.
Ooh, stinky.
For the
her
duration
ult applies cauterize?
That's actually stinky. Why?
If you were hit in it, it applies a full cauterize. It didn't used to do that because you could use a Grover ult to actually heal through it.
Right.
And save the person. You can't do that anymore. You are completely locked out of healing them. If she grabs you, you're screwed. Yeah, so they removed that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they didn't put that in the notes, but me and a buddy figured it out.
Is there any other ability that applies cauterize?
So it can't be me no more.
On her kit?
You can't be me
in
no
general
more.
in
No.
Paladins, because that's an ability. I don't think any other abilities apply.
Hey, one thing about Ray kid.
I mean, it depends on what you count. Like, would you consider Leon?
No, because I know Leon's also. Okay, fair. I get where you're going.
Yeah.
Ability is too broad. Consider ult maybe, and then you know you might be cooking.
Yeah, when she brought up Leon, I was like, well, no, all of her abilities. Okay, I get it.
Is that why people are rocking the double Tindra? Damn, slothy, cocking. Nah. What is your question in regards to? Because we just talked about so much shit. Like, what are you referencing? He's asking, is that why people are rocking the double Tindra talent? They were discussing the first talent.
Hello?
And the alt. Oh, okay, yeah. You just joining the VC made that so much easier because I was like, okay, explain your question.
Let's go.
Alright. Hold on, let me mute your stream.
Okay. I'm prepared.
You know I meant rocking, not cocking.
I know. You're fine.
Same thing.
So what were you talking? So I tuned in too late and I heard a shadow buff on Vora. What was it about?
Let Nova explain that.
Ult.
Her ult.
Her ult.
Yeah, her ult got a shadow buff.
Oh,
So
I thought it was something about her tendrils. And
No.
I'm wondering why people are rocking her double tendril now.
That's just for the mobility, but the first one's better.
It's good.
Okay. Alright, continue about her ultimate.
Her ultimate got a shadow buff that basically gave it 100% cauterize the moment you hit them. So like it's impossible to be healed and saved during the ult now if she catches you. There's literally nothing you can do. Except Alice. Alice is capable of rewinding when hit by Vora ultimate.
True.
And
That's
Roy is still capable of popping his ult as well to full heal. So those are like the only two ways to escape it. Actually, that's a lie. Khan is capable of iframing it as well. with his shout, he can actually iframe the ult. Which is
Yep,
pretty cool.
that's what
Kinda
that
like how he does
con.
with
That's what that
Drogos,
con did to
so-
me. He
Yeah.
shouted right as
Oh
I
yeah, 'cause
did
he
it.
can do that to a Drogo's ult too.
Yeah, it's fucking dumb.
It's evil.
It's
It's
dumb.
incredibly evil.
Do you know
Dude,
Zen
there
can
is
actually counter
counterplay to
Drogo's
it.
ult? I think they can't then counter Drogo's ult.
Who? Can Vora
Yeah.
counter it?
Zen.
Oh, Zin? With Billow,
I
yeah.
swear, if Zen
Billow.
can counter a Drogo.
I countered a BKO. Zen can counter
Counter
BKO.
Drogo's ult?
I don't think so, because
I
it
don't
makes physical
think so.
contact, right? Like,
Justin,
you
wanna
can't
test it out?
counter...
BK ult can be countered by Zen. It can.
Justin, you want to test it out?
If he hits you directly in the face, it'll counter it.
I'll set up a custom. Hold on.
I'm not sure if
Okay.
Drogo's ult will, but I wouldn't be surprised if he countered Drogo's ult, because he can counter just about anything in the game.
Halle, are you reading what Ace just wrote?
Yeah, I saw. Well, okay, hold on. To
Motherfucker.
finish up, what we were talking about talents. Like, is there any good points you want to note about Vora's talents, regardless?
First talent helps her when the multi-flank or
Her,
multi-tanks
I
come out.
think her
because
first
of
talent is like the
percent
most user friendly, in my opinion.
First talent's
Like,
most
first
user
talent
friendly.
for more damage, second talent for more mobility if you wanted to break them down.
Yeah, I want to break it down. Yeah.
That's the easiest way to put it. It's trying to think of a good way to put this.
Hey, Cyan.
In higher elo, you want to run the first talent.
Yeah.
In a lower to, I guess, like entering medium elo, you are completely okay with running double tendril. Not saying you can't run double tendril in like high elo games. I'm saying I don't recommend it, because at that point you're no longer sitting in backline because you're not a Vatu. You don't have the capabilities of doing something like that.
Yeah.
Your escape measures are limited to verticality, and in a move like, let's say, the snowy one, it's like the mansion on a cliff or whatever. Take that for example. Your main way of getting through the back line is going to be 2 lanes, and both of those lanes are cut off vertically. So you don't have a literal escape. So you're better off poking and stabbing with first talent. Another thing is the first talent is especially good for the current meta, which it's not current meta anymore, but the ranked meta, which is still very popular, which is going to be like double tank, damage, flank support.
Yep.
Off tank rocking with the support. The Vora first talent makes her capable of 1v1ing every off tank in the game and winning. As long as you,
Right, 'cause
you have
that
to
extra
dump your
percent damage.
cooldowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to pop your ult for it. But there's no off tank in the game currently that Vora cannot 1v1 and win with first talent. Now, second talent, your only job is running away. That's all you can do. You can't be
Be a
Nazan
nuisance.
with second talent.
No.
Yeah,
Not
you
at
don't
all.
have the option. So any off tank that's smart enough to understand that you can't 1v1 them is not gonna stop when you start.
Yeah,
shooting.
no.
You're going to keep walking into your backline because you're going to do nothing but pea shooter damage because you don't have any.
Pea shooter damage is crazy.
The bulk of her damage is her siphon percentile base. That is the bulk of her damage, 100%.
What about
Hitting
the
your
card
main
usage? What's the most important thing to understand about that?
Unified in Purpose is the best card in her entire kit outside of her HP card. Her
Is that the
HP
DR
card, DR on Siphon, yes. DR on Siphon and her HP card are the best cards in her kit. Another thing to take into
like the
account.
base HP card?
Base HP card, yes. 100%.
Really?
Yeah. Another thing is to not stack your DR, especially if you're going to run something like Unified in Purpose, because somewhere around like 32, 35%, it starts heavily declining in terms of
Oh, the
like, value
diminishing
you get.
diminishing returns,
returns
yeah.
hit hard. And Vora, who gets 20% DR on Tendril, 30% on Siphon, and then she can get like an additional 40 or like 20 something percent on a True Purpose, and then she gets another like 50% on her ult. You know, like that stuff, it doesn't stack well. So
Yeah.
you wanna diversify your tanking methods. So you have Unified in Purpose, which is gonna give you DR on Siphon. You have the HP card, but you also have the shield on Tendril, and that's a way to split all of your tankiness between 3 different things which do not have diminishing returns at all. And
Nice.
then with the +5 and Unified Purpose, you can also buy Haven to get roughly like a 15 to 16% bonus outside of the 18% you're supposed to get.
And it's
like
separate.
a base 18%, but it's permanent. And then you have the additional 30% that'll proc every now and then. So it's one of those things where it's like you cannot put all of your eggs in one basket with the
Yeah.
cards. Otherwise, you're gonna be wasting points.
Yeah.
Wasting points a lot.
I know you said that.
More cards as well as like you can run. I was actually talking with Andrew Chicken about this briefly. He likes to run cooldown cards, which I think is fine. Except
Same.
the fact that you're really
want the
lacking. I mean, no, it's a fun play style. I agree. I've used it a
Yeah.
bunch in the past. But my only problem is at certain elos, it gets to a point to where you're not capable of sitting in backline, and
Yeah.
then you're going to be bobbing back and forth depending on the situation, and you're mostly going to be poking off angle. So at a
So
certain
self-sustain is more
point,
important.
You're gonna have a lot of the sustain's more important, because when you get in that back line, you're gonna have the world fighting against you. Okay, you're not always gonna have your off tank to help you. You need to be able to survive the fight to deal more damage. Using your cooldowns and such to escape or to use an iframe is cool and all, but if you can sit there and you can win the 1v1 because you have 200 HP or 30% bonus DR, you need that instead. Because realistically, if
all
you
about
dive in
min-maxing.
with a tendril, right, you have one tendril to escape with double tendril,
Yeah.
but you have no damage. What's
Yeah.
gonna happen when the IO turns around and starts healing the Tyro you're shooting?
Oh,
You're
yeah.
Okay? Same scenario. You use Unified and Purpose with a cooldown deck. You hit the Tyro, you do the burst, you do the 2400 damage, and the IO starts healing her. Okay, how are you going to escape?
Yeah.
Sure, you have your cooldown cards, but what's happening is it's an 11-second cooldown. You're not gonna get that in time. You're
Yeah.
dead. You
Yeah.
lose. Game over. The dog is gonna stun you, and the Tyro is gonna kill you. So you are better off running a DR build in order to protect yourself, so that when you do dive in, you can sit there for the full 10 seconds until you get that tendril and you leave.
Yeah.
It is very important to know that like your cooldown cards are good,
Cooldown
and
management.
strong,
Yeah.
but you're not feasibly going to get them in the time you need them.
Shouldn't be reliant on it.
You shouldn't be relying on it, no, because you need the card points for other things that she lacks.
Yeah.
Her sustain in her base kit is not enough. Even her cards that give her bonus healing is not enough because cauterize exist.
Yeah.
That's the main thing, is cauterize exist. And realistically, if you're flanking, you will be under cauterize.
Yeah.
The notion that like your healing means as much as it does is not there. For someone like Vatu, it works because he's running away.
Yeah.
Vora doesn't run away. I described it to Andrew as you're a flying brick wall. You need to embrace it. Everything in your,
A
in
flying
your damage
brick
resistance.
wall is a
Yeah, and you
crazy
need to-
comparison.
You need to just stomp on people like a thwomp from Mario. You need to just drop on them. That's what you need to do. Like you can't just sit there and poke.
So
and,
we're an
be a
abysmal
flank.
Anara.
Yeah, you're like a slightly more thin Anara. You need to go in the back line, and you need to be a menace. You need to be as tanky as possible.
It makes
You need to be
sense.
As frustrating as
Because she
possible.
does have some tanky ass cards. That
She does.
for no reason.
So
like
one of my best friends, I think duo with someone, and he was duo with someone. We ran into each other on payload, and I'm running my favorite DR build and stuff, and I dive his backline. We won the game for sure, and I went like 34 and something against him.
oh shit.
And he messages me midway through the match. He's playing Claude Koga when he was like peak like popularity after the update, and he just messaged me and he just goes, "Why the fuck am I hitting you for 250 damage on claws?" I'm like, "Sorry, bro, skill diff." Like,
Bruh.
Not the
You know?
skill dip.
Damn.
it's
Knowledge
would
dip.
you rather have a lot of cooldowns, or would you rather be taking 250 damage from a Claw Koga?
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That's-
Like when
a
you
fair
put it
point
in
for
that
sure.
perspective, yeah.
Right.
Wow.
it works better in play than cooldowns. It really does.
Yeah.
Even someone like Shaw, you know, Shaw does 1,000 damage a hit. It's not.
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
What happens when he does 600? What is he gonna do then? What happens when the Shaw no longer two shots you? Then what? You gotta charge up a third one, a fourth one, a fifth one.
I was
Come
gonna
on
say
now.
if he's only hitting 600, that's gonna take 4 to kill Vora at 2.
Right.
Yeah.
By that time, she's already like tendrilled in your
Kill him like that?
face. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
DOT to see him when he's invisible as
She done
well.
busted down.
That's
Obliteration
kind
to
of
start
wild.
rapid
Like
shot.
when now that you're
Like, come
kind of
on.
okay. Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Right. I smell what you cooking.
Cooldown's good.
Smells pretty
Spam
delicious.
heal's good,
Yeah.
but DR is where it's at.
You're big brain in it. I like that.
Nova.
Not
The
me over
shield's
here
good.
like changing my
Shield's
Vora build
important.
right now.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. No, the shield's important too. You wouldn't think it, but 5 seconds, like
Yeah.
200, 300, 400 shield's a lot. I've had games where I've had like 15, 16k shielding.
Oh my
On
god.
Vora.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Th-
lot. It's important.
this-
It's like 5-6 lives worth of HP.
This build I just picked up from a old friend, Healer Sky. I don't know if you guys heard.
Oh yeah.
Of the-
You're stealing
yeah.
mine.
Oh
I see
yeah,
it.
that's him.
You?
That's him.
Me, I'm healer Sky.
He's like from an old friend. It's literally Nova.
That's literally it.
Exposed.
I just wanted to try it out for once. I was like, oh
Yeah, dude,
wow.
no, new patch is my build.
Yeah, I was looking. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
let me try it.
That's
It's
like
something.
it's like my peak Vora build for
It's
sure.
yeah.
And because let me see. This is